Welcome, Gail Lynn, to the podcast. I'm very excited about this conversation.
I get nervous doing podcasts, even though I've done well over 100 of them. I still get nervous because I want to say the right thing. I want to inspire people. So after Hollywood, I was on the verge of a nervous breakdown and severe cardiovascular stress. They wanted to do a hysterectomy on me. And here, silly me was like, oh, well, I'm getting old. 37, right? I'm getting old.
That's not old.
No. But I'm 54 now and I'm healthier than I've ever been.
Was that a car accident by any chance?
T-boned me and spun me around the intersection. And at that moment, I had a near-death experience. And I tell people it was one of the most beautiful things that ever happened to me.
How do you think the world would be different if we all knew about our spirit guides?
We would have more kindness. We wouldn't be so mean to each other. We would support each other with love and cooperation. We wouldn't worry about lack.
I do have a little surprise for you, and I will be playing a video. We are on our way to experience the extraordinary Harmonic Egg in Mount Tamborine in Queensland. I have been reading Gail Lynn's book, Unlocking the Ancient Secrets to Healing. You're crying, and I've got the tingles.
And when you reset that nervous system, the body can detox, it can heal, it can do everything that it's magically designed to do. So the egg's not the magic, it's your body the magic. They feel like they've gone into the egg to rebirth, to reset, to rejuvenate, to renew.
I now have the honor of hosting a Harmonic Egg at my wellness center and see every day the wonderful results of using sound and light vibration for wellness care, spiritual growth, and yes, healing.
If you don't listen to the whispers, you get the nudges. If you don't listen to the nudges, you get the hammer. And you don't want that.
You had this quote, I wanted to create a protocol of love for the Harmonic Egg, so I made our brand attributes love, integrity, reliability, and community. We're not a franchise. It's a divine feminine business model of cooperation and love. What is your vision for the Harmonic Egg?
Well, may I be so bold as to maybe say out loud, which I have not said out loud before, but we're talking of making America healthy again, this whole MAHA movement. And I am one handshake away from Robert Kennedy Jr., and I think the Harmonic Egg needs to be part of making America healthy again.
Starting to shift, and I think 2025 is really the year that this is all going to be coming out now, and how sound and frequency healing is the future.
I love the dialogue with you and the conversation. It's been very fun and very dynamic. It's not scripted. That's the best kind of podcast, so thank you.
As you say, you need to be brave and put yourself out there in the world, and this at the moment is my contribution. So having people on like yourself just make it all worthwhile. I know this invention is just going to help so many people and so many families and so many children. And kind of getting emotional. So just thank you from the bottom of my heart for bringing these devices around the world, and I'm honoured to have you on the show. Welcome, Gail Lynn, to the podcast. I'm very excited about this conversation.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to speak to you and just have a conversation where some of your audience can get a sneak peek into, us in a room together.
Well, before we immerse in your exciting world, I just wanted to share with you a synchronistic story, because I know that synchronicity has played a big part in your journey. So when I first came across you, it was on Gaia, on Regina Meredith's show, Open Minds. And I think it was 4 to 5 years ago. Does that sound about right? So I was trying to think how long ago it was.
That show came out in April of 2020. So almost 5 years ago.
Wow. Well, I just started on my spiritual path, and I just remember going, okay, I need to find out what this harmonic egg is. So I went on to Google, did my usual research thing, and I found them, and they're all in America. And I thought, oh, they're not in Australia yet. Okay. And then I just parked it. And then just recently, I saw a video pop up, and I think it was from Susie Miller, and it was something to do with your documentary In Time, which I have watched, and it's very beautiful. And I loved every moment of it. It just took me to another place. So thank you for bringing that to the world. I'll I'll put that in the show notes so that everyone can watch it. And I was like, okay, well, I need to invite Gail onto the podcast. And obviously, you kindly accepted. So you're here now. And I thought, okay, well, she's coming on. I better check my notes on my computer to see if I've written anything about the harmonic egg. And I found this note, and it had harmonic egg written at the top. And underneath was all of these links to all the places in America that had the harmonic egg. So I think wellness centers or something like that. And then I looked at the date of the note, and it was the exact day a year ago. So, and literally to the hour. So a year ago today, I wrote that note, and I just couldn't believe it. I thought, wow, I'm going to have to share this with Gail at the beginning of the podcast, because what is the chances? But I just thought that was a really cool synchronistic moment.
That is beautiful. Oh my gosh. Yeah, what are the chances? They don't believe there are accidents or coincidences. It's all divine timing.
I agree. So before we get into your incredible invention, I thought maybe you'd like to start at the beginning with anything about your upbringing, anything about your career history, so that we can really get to know you.
I was born in the Detroit, Michigan area, so that means something to a lot of people in the automotive industry. And I believe that that area is changing now, but it was very pessimistic. My parents would tell me, just go to work for the automotive industry and you can get a pension and you can just retire and you can just skate along with this job for 30 years. And it just didn't resonate with me. And when I was trying to break out of that mentality of the blue collar environment, just go to work, get a pension, retire, it sounded super boring. And so my parents were always very critical, like, you're trying to buy steaks with hamburger money. You're trying to do, and I thought, I deserve a steak. That's not a bad thing. So my whole life, I was always bucking the system. I always
Right.
wanted to do more, be more. And my parents were like, why? Why does she have to be so difficult? Why does she have to be something that she shouldn't be, or that, but who's to say who should or shouldn't be? And so it
Mhm.
was really hard growing up. I was the oldest of three. I have a younger brother and a younger sister, and we lived in a small house. And my sister and I shared a room because my sister was a oops accident. And so my parents weren't planning on having another child. So all of a sudden, I ended up with a little sister, and I was 7 years older. So, of course, when you're 16, 17, and you've got this little 9 or 10-year-old kid in the room, and you're like, oh, like, I want my own space. I want to be on my own phone calls. And she was
Yes.
always tuning into my phone calls. And so I knew that there was more to life than the automotive industry and this environment. And so early on, I already knew I was different. And so I was trying to plan my escape to get
Mm.
out of Michigan. And so I planned my escape and I moved to Texas.
Right.
And I got into that was when I was 27. So I had already worked in automotive and knew that's not what I wanted to do. So I got into telecommunications. And when I really look at my whole history, and I'll fast forward a little bit more, I got into Hollywood, and then I realized how interesting the universe was to put me into engineering and then international business and then Hollywood so that I could do what I do today. And I just
Mm.
finished a documentary months ago, and I had done a movie before this one, but that movie
Protecting the
prepared
king,
me.
wasn't it?
Yes, yes, with Elvis's stepbrother, of course. It's a fun story. And so I realized that when you say yes to life and when you
Hmm.
follow your intuition and follow your gut,
Hmm.
that it just takes you where you need to go to be on your path. And I followed a lot of Wayne Dyer's work.
Mm-hmm.
starting around 1998. And
Yeah.
I remember a very critical quote that I heard from him that said, "Do something every day that scares you." So for
Mm.
a couple years, I did something every day that scared me. And now I feel like there's nothing that I can't do. There's nothing that I can't tackle. There's nothing that I'm afraid of. Of course, I get nervous. I get nervous doing podcasts, even though I've done well over 100 of them. I still get nervous because I want to say the right thing. I want to inspire people. I want people to know that this little girl from Detroit that shared a room with her little baby sister can create a device that's helping the planet to get in more love, to connect to their higher self,
Mm.
to really transmute the energies of trauma and to find the magic that is the body and to heal. So anybody can do these things. They just gotta be brave, focus, and follow their intuition.
Mm. I love that. That's such a beautiful share. Thank you. So, how did you then come up with the idea for the harmonic egg? I don't want to go too much in there because I do have a little surprise for you. So, how is it that the idea got sparked?
It's just like a lot of healers where you get really sick. So after Hollywood, I was on the verge of a nervous breakdown and severe cardiovascular stress. I've told the story before, but some of your audience will be new to it. But basically did a heart rate variability test and they
Right.
said, "You're on the verge of an instant heart attack." And
Mm.
I was 37 years old and I already had migraine headaches and cystic acne and my hair was falling out and I was on thyroid medicine and I was having liver problems and they wanted to do a hysterectomy on me. And here, silly me was like, "Oh, well, I'm getting old, 37, right? I'm getting
That's
old."
not old.
And then no, no, but I'm 54 now and I'm healthier than I've ever been. So when I was trying to find a way to heal, then I found sound and light therapy. And it was at a conference, and I met this guy, and he was the inventor of a box that was a sound and light therapy box.
Okay.
And so I buy in two of those. I opened up a center. I started helping people. But then the comments that they were saying to me made me morph it into the egg. And I kept getting visions of this large wooden egg, which to me, from the Detroit area, is a very practical automotive person, engineering. I thought this is really crazy. What is this thing? And
Hmm.
so that started morphing into something. And then I started studying the golden ratio and sacred geometry and Tesla mathematics and Edgar Casey and Wilhelm Reich, the Oregon box. And so, but every little part of that came to me very magically. I'd be walking through a library and a book would literally fall off the shelf, or I would see it highlighted. I would just be walking and I would see a book and it just popped out at me.
Mm.
Everything that I read to create the egg was presented to me in a very divine way.
Was that a car accident by any chance? Are you
The
happy to share
last
that?
part absolutely. The last part, it was so funny. My guides, and hopefully your audience will understand spirit guides or angels. And I remember the incident. It was a intersection right outside of my office, and I was coming back from the barn, and it was snowing, and we have these new LED lights, the street lights. And when the snow blows on them, they don't heat up, so the snow doesn't melt. So the
Right.
girl coming this way saw just snow covered on the lights. She couldn't tell if it was red, yellow, or green. And so she was 16 years old, just got her driver's license, and she thought, well, I can't see, so I'm just going to go. So
Right.
she was doing 60 miles an hour. There was a truck turning, so I couldn't see her coming because the truck was turning and it was in my field. I didn't see her until it was almost, it's too late. So I hit the gas, but she still hit me broadside or T-boned me and spun me around the intersection. And at that moment, I had a near-death experience that was really beautiful. And I tell people it was one of the most beautiful things that ever happened to me. A guy came into my passenger side because he couldn't get the driver's side door open. He said, "I didn't know what I was going to see or how you were going to be, because he said it was brutal. Like you just bam, spun around. And I just looked at him. I was like, oh, nice to see you. And he's like, I don't know you.
Right.
And at that moment, in a near-death experience, it feels like you know everyone, you know everything, and everything is just perfect. So I feel like my spirit guides said, oh, we're just going to have to blast her. We can't get her to bring through the last piece of the egg. So we have to kind of hit her to blast her into another reality. And right after the accident, I felt like the rest of the egg design came through. So it was a really beautiful experience, but it could have been so bad. Most people with that accident would have had a traumatic brain injury. They would maybe be handicapped. Nothing happened. So I'm very grateful, but it feels like that's what my guides had to do to get my attention.
Mm. Well, for those that don't know what spirit guides are, I'd love to hear what your interpretation or what you believe they are, because this podcast is all about opening the hearts and minds of people that might have heard the term once, but I would love to hear what you define spirit guides as.
So there's a lot of definitions, and I would love to just share. So somebody will resonate with one of these definitions. It could have been your grandparent or great grandparent that passed away that's watching over you. It could be an angel if you are a Christian and you believe in Raphael or Gabriel or different angels. They can also be spirit guides and watching over you. And they can also be, if you're a little bit more out there, from different universes, different galaxies. And I do believe that I have teachers from other galaxies, and the egg is here on planet Earth from another galaxy that existed on another galaxy for healing and probably still does, but we're just not in tune with it. And if we're so arrogant to believe that we're the only ones that live on this whole universe, then, we have some real deep thinking to do. So I think the spirit guides can be from anywhere, anyone that's there to guide you because you have a mission, you have a goal. Every one of us has a gift. And sometimes we get beat down by other human beings in our life and we forget what our gifts are. And sometimes we have to have a spirit guide come to us in a dream or even in a reality to tell us, listen, you are not who this person has painted you to be. You're not somebody who is stupid, or you have a gift. And sometimes people have a spiritual awakening and then they realize what their gift is. And then it's from something that you can't really put your hands on. It's not tangible.
How do you think the world would be different if we all knew about our spirit guides?
Oh gosh. I just think that we would have more love. We would have more kindness. We wouldn't be so mean to each other. We would support each other with love and cooperation. We wouldn't worry about lack. We wouldn't worry about, I need to scrimp and scrape for this next dollar, because it would just be there. We would all be supporting each other. We would all be helping each other. We would all be existing and coexisting together in cooperation because we're all in it together. No one's getting out alive. I don't care how much money you have. Look at Steve Jobs, how much money he has. He's dead. He couldn't save his own life because of money. So we have to make sure to take care of ourselves and take care of each other, realize we're all one, we're all connected. And it would just be such a beautiful place if we could all experience each other with more love.
Yes, as you can see, the love sign behind me. I love that. So before we get into the details and the intricacies of the Harmonic Egg and how it's been transforming lives, as I just mentioned a few minutes ago, I do have a little surprise for you, and I will be playing a video. So I'm just going to bring that up. We are on our way to experience the extraordinary Harmonic Egg in Mount Tamborine in Queensland. I have been reading Gail Lynn's book, Unlocking the Ancient Secrets to Healing. Here is the egg, but we are going to be experiencing it in person, and we are so excited. Hello! I love it! Come on in, hi! Oh my God, lovely to meet you. Yes. Thank you for having us. I've got your
My pleasure.
Oh, thank you. That's very sweet. Oh, this is the harmonic egg. Oh, wow. Wow, look at this. I feel like I'm walking into a futuristic film or something.
It is a little like that, isn't it?
Wow. It's so beautiful.
So this is Peaches.
Is Peaches the name?
Yes, that's the name that came to me when I was walking. I got a download that I saw Peaches and I knew the name Peaches and I was like, oh wow, okay.
Amazing. Already the space feels just so warm and welcoming. Like beautifully.
So this is your lighting setup. I have music that I'll be putting in that's designed for your intention. And yet the space ultimately is kind of ideal if it can kind of resonate with it as well. So, yes.
Well, it's nice to go in, so we'll say goodbye now. A bit wired actually.
That can actually happen too. I've had one in April come to mine now, so yes.
The tickles and the
Fabulous.
it's so powerful.
Isn't it? I'll move this so you don't trip. And then if you want to just grab my arm and get him out, the steps are just shuffle forward. Here we are. Okay, natural electrolyte drink for you. Thank you. Just put on the side in between. Oh.
So thank you, Gail, for bringing this to Australia. You're going to help so many people. Thank you so much for inviting us here today and letting us be one of the first clients to experience this extraordinary harmonic egg. We really appreciate it. I was wondering whether you have any messages that you'd like to give to Gail for the podcast.
I do. Gail, I'd like to say a heartfelt thank you so much for allowing me to bring this technology to Australia. I think we can all say it's an amazing experience for everyone involved, and yeah, just really heartfelt thank you to you. And thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having us. You're crying.
Yay.
And I've got the tingles. How was that?
No, that's beautiful. I love seeing the egg, and I like obviously haven't met Sharon in person, but oh my gosh, crazy.
Oh. It was a really magnificent experience, and I didn't really want to have you on until I experienced it. So when I Googled again, I realized they were in Australia, and I didn't realize I wasn't inviting you on because I knew that it was actually afterwards. And so I thought, well, it's about a few hours up the road. I would really love to experience it before you come on. And Sharon said she'll keep it a secret. So we have been keeping the secret from you. But it was extraordinary. And as I said in that clip, I walked in, and even just the energy in the room and in the egg, it was such a powerful experience. And there's just so much I'd love to know about this egg. And, I'm like, how long do we have to immerse ourselves in it? I'm just going to let you have a couple of minutes or moments just to take a breather, because I can see the emotion. And it must be, you brought this around the world. How many do you have now?
People have them in their homes and they have them in businesses, and I think we've delivered 220, 30.
Wow.
Yes. It doesn't feel like it's mine. It feels like it came through me, and I just am the one that grabbed the information. I hear people every day tell me, oh my gosh, I had the same idea. I was going to design something just like that. So I know that information was for
Yeah.
people to just grab. And it was just crazy enough. And, I say batshit crazy enough to just grab it and do it. And I believe that Australia is a key to bringing light to planet Earth. And I want more out there in Australia. We're supposed to deliver, I think, 5 more to Australia in 2025. And
Beautiful.
I just feel like anchoring it into the land there is going to just be so beautiful. And I just want people to just go in there and experience it. So tell me more. Did you cry? It looks like maybe you teared up a little bit. Tell me about your experience.
So, yeah, so I went in and lay back, and I think I'd been reading that people tend to fall asleep. I actually seemed to go the other way. I got quite wired, and I just felt that even just the music was a beautiful experience. And I had the child one because I'm quite sensitive. So I know that we had these intentions, and based on the intention, Sharon, who by the way is just the perfect guardian for the egg, she's just so gorgeous. She just lights up your life as soon as you're in the room with her. So, um, yeah, that's another thing we can get onto in a minute. So I was in there with the lights and then the music, and yeah, I started feeling a bit wired. But I find that when I have sound healing with the bowls, the same thing happens to me. But then my eyes started watering, and it was a really powerful experience, and I didn't know what to expect. So the time seemed to go really quickly. And then I felt called to put my hand on my heart and my hand on my womb because I've had quite a lot of trauma in that space. And my intention, or part of my intention, was about clearing that. So when I came, like, then when the doors opened, I was still in that sort of state. And then, yeah, my eyes were just full of water. It wasn't like I was intentionally crying or anything. And then I was very spacey afterwards. And we went to the botanical gardens, and the mozzies loved me. I've never been bitten so much. So I was like, what's happening with my blood? Or something from the harmonic egg. And for the next, because I think it was only like 10 days ago we went for this. So I feel like I'm in the detox mode because I felt very needing to rest. I've been pooing differently, peeing differently. Sorry for the too much information, everybody. I've definitely had so many different symptoms. Um, because when you clear your womb space, I've heard that it helps you manifest. And so that first week, I ended up also manifesting 30 people interested in a course I haven't made yet, just from a comment on a viral post. So I thought, oh, maybe that was the egg. I'm already manifesting. And my partner, who also had it done, he had an Akashic record reading with someone in Switzerland that we love, and in fact, it's going to be on the podcast soon. And I'll just read what she said about me. She said, I can see that Becca's heart area is lit up and golden. So a lot of healing has been in the entire heart area. And then she said also my navel region, she could see that there was a lot of heat and light there, and that I need a lot of rest, which was correlating with how I was feeling. And so even when I went to Pilates reformer class that I go to, I had to keep my eyes closed nearly the whole session because I just was so sensitive to everything around me. So I guess I'd love to know, is that a normal experience? Why was that happening to me? And now I feel like my energy has really picked up last couple of days. But if you could share, what's been happening, that'd be amazing.
Absolutely. So I feel like we release a lot, and we put things on a shelf. Like we'll say, I want this, I want this, I want this into my life. But when you don't have the actions towards that, so you say, oh, I want to fill up my course with people, but in that subconscious programming, it's like, I'm not worthy, no one's going to sign up. And so what happens is you open that up, and it's like a floodgate. So you actually clear that subconscious programming, you reprogram, and then you feel deserving. So then all of a sudden that flooded into you. And so that's how I describe manifesting, because it is like a manifestation egg. And you go in there, you set your intention, and all of a sudden things start happening. Whenever I do a session, it's funny because I'll go to a restaurant or I go to a store, and little kids will look at me like they'd be crying, and then all of a sudden I walk by and they just look, they turn their head, they watch me walk, and I'm thinking, what's happening? What are they looking at? But I think they see like a rainbow colored aura, and animals too. So
Right.
people will tell me a lot. There's like, my dog doesn't come up to anybody. Like, who are you? My dog never goes to anybody. And so I think that they see that animals and children, I think, can see that aura, that light. And so I think that's what the egg does. It gives you that light, which you always had, but it makes it shine brighter. So that's how I
Right.
describe that. I do believe it's a sonic massage because the vibrations are giving you a type of massage. And therefore, you're going to have a different type of bowel movement or poop, or you might have, if you smell your skin. Sometimes after I do a session, I can smell my arm and it smells like metals or something that's detoxing from the pores, because it does actually help you to reset your autonomic nervous system. And when you reset that nervous system, the body can detox, it can heal, it can do everything that it's magically designed to do. And it stops doing it when you're stuck in fight or flight, you're in a stressful place, then your organs aren't working right. Your body's not detoxing right. So when you can put your body into the environment by which it knows how to heal naturally, it's very magical. So the egg's not the magic, it's your body that's the magic. But the egg puts your body into that environment to reset and rebalance and become this beautiful space of light and releasing trauma and detoxing and connecting to your higher self and knowing how worthy you are. Did I cover all the aspects you asked?
Yes. What is the best way to, am I meant to be doing something like post-care, like for the helping the detox?
So the other thing that you mentioned was about the sensitivity when you went to
the Pilates reformer.
So I get that too. I get that too. I can't be under fluorescent lights. It feels like my body is resetting to a new normal. And those kind of toxic places or even toxic foods will make me very ill. And
My appetite's changed.
Yes, my boyfriend will say, well, you're too clean. You have to live in a dirty environment. I said, well, yes, we do have to live in a dirty environment, but I don't know that you can be too clean, but you can be sensitive to the dirty world when you're getting clean. So yes, my appetite has changed. I can't eat fast food like I used to, which I shouldn't have anyway. And then fluorescent sometimes. Yeah, so that's the other, I meant to bring that up. Now you asked me something else, so go back to that now if you would, please.
How to help with the detoxing, like the post-care.
So I tell people that when you're doing the detox, it takes 5 to 7 days. So I notice my sessions are usually, I'm not super sensitive when it comes to the energy. And so I'll sometimes get out of the egg and go, I don't think anything really happened. But then about 3 days later, I was like, oh, I see. I'm calmer. Things are flowing better. I'm manifesting like a crazy person. And okay, now I see what happened. But it's 5 to 7 days to integrate. And I tell people drink a lot of water because your body is flushing and it needs to flush that out. If you don't pee them out or poop that out, you could have like some skin irritations because it's going to try to come out somewhere.
I've got one of those underneath my nose.
Yes. So it could be that you're not getting enough water in and flushing. So it's going to come out through the pores. And that happens. It's a real thing. And so when I was 14, a bunch of girls got molested by the Catholic priest. And he would make us kiss him on the lips. He would, it was terrible. But he had herpes so bad on his lips. And so for years, I would get a herpes breakout, even 35 years after the molestation. And after doing sessions and releasing that at a systemic level, that herpes virus, I don't get them anymore, which is so beautiful. But I've had clients say, Oh my gosh, after my session, I had like a really big breakout. And then I knew them for years. And they said it never happened again. It was like it systemically came up, it came
Mm,
out, and they never had an issue again. So I believe it's bringing systemic issues up to release and just get them out of the body because it doesn't serve us.
mm. Yeah, it's felt like that. It's felt like I'm detoxing all the stuff and the stress and the trauma that I've been carrying around for so many years. It's a cleansing feeling. And so, how would you explain how it works to someone that's just heard of the harmonic egg? What is this harmonic egg, they're saying? How do you explain that to just someone who's hearing it for the first time?
The explanation I like to talk about for somebody who doesn't know anything about it is to say we're vibrational beings of light from source, from God, from the universe, whatever word we use. So we should be healing with sound and light. And I
Mm,
believe that inside the resonant chamber of the harmonic egg, which is lined with wood, as you noticed,
mm,
wood doesn't hold information or energy like water. Water can hold information and energy where wood does not. So I believe that you're almost like forest bathing in a environment of nature with sacred geometry, with intention. Our brand attributes are love, integrity, reliability, and community. And people feel like they're in a womb space. They feel like they've gone into the egg to rebirth, to reset, to rejuvenate, to renew. And we use the waveforms of instruments instead of the frequencies because you don't know, Becca, you might be vibrating at 800 hertz. And so I wouldn't want to put you on 396 or 528 because I was bringing you down. So I'll put you on for your intention. If you say I want to work on liver, we're going to probably have flute music and orange light. If you want to work on something more survival, like your teeth or your hearing or your eyes, we might work with drumming because it's more for the root chakra. So we've
mm.
designed the protocols around what people's intentions are and
Yeah.
how those instruments, those colors will work with that. So I just feel like I like to say that it's just resetting your body because your body and our beings and our souls are vibrational beings of light. So it's sound and light in a resonant chamber shaped like an egg because that's where life comes from. So people can
Ah,
just go in there and reset.
yeah, I never thought about that, that the egg is where we all come from. That's really cool. There's just so many great ideas there that you've culminated into this. Do you call it like an sound and healing light chamber? Like, what is it? How do you describe it in like one sentence?
Yeah, I call it a sound and light healing chamber.
Ah,
It's a
there you
great
go.
explanation. Yeah.
I must have got the download. So what conditions can this help with? So can it help with anything? Can it help with the COVID-19 vaccine injured? Like what is it that can help with?
So that's a touchy subject, obviously. I believe that the body doesn't know disease by name.
Okay.
So we name all this stuff, but it doesn't really know disease by name. So I believe that the body can heal from just about anything. And we have had people who've done the vaccine and then they've gone in and it's detoxed it and they really haven't had a lot of issues. I don't ever know what your body can do or what it's capable of doing. But we also have a sovereignty agreement because we want people to take back their power. Because if you maybe willingly or unwillingly signed up to do this, and it's okay. There's no
Mm,
judgment. It was the part of the journey. But you can say, you know what? I kind of wish I wouldn't have done that. I want to take my power back. So we made a little sovereignty agreement for people to say, okay, I'm taking my sovereignty back. And then it detoxes it energetically. Because sometimes it's just an energy and everything is energy.
could it be as serious as cancers and things like that that they would come to you for?
Well, let's look at all the suppressed inventions and suppressed treatments that have come up. I had a friend who was a doctor from Poland. She was working at a university in California. She had created a treatment for cancer, but they
Hmm.
wouldn't let her put it out because that would be saying, okay, we're going to be now walking away from billions of revenue if we cure cancer. So,
Yeah.
but what is cancer at a core? We have to look at what is cancer at a core. Is it emotional? Is it heavy metals? Is it inflammation? Is it trauma? Is it a viral load. What is cancer at the core? And can our body detox metals? Yes. Can our body fight off a virus? Yes. Can our body reduce inflammation? Yes. Can our body release trauma? Yes. So I feel like if we can tune into our bodies, listen to our bodies, and treat the root of what we are naming, then I think we can heal from anything. And maybe that's a Pollyanna viewpoint, but everything that's ever gone wrong with me, I will say, okay, it's my right shoulder. Let me look that up. Okay, that's the masculine side. Shoulder is, putting the weight of the world on your shoulders. If you have a neck problem, you say, okay, where am I being stubborn that I don't want to look and turn my head to see other viewpoints? So when you have something going on with your liver, you have to look at where are you storing anger? With your lungs, where are you storing grief? With your stomach, where are you storing worry? Your pancreas, worry. Your kidneys, fear. So, I mean, we always have a clue as to what's going on in our body. So everything in the body, message our body gives us so that we can learn and be on this journey in the human experience to really navigate what it's like to be human.
Can anyone use this technology? Can children use it? Can neurodiverse children use it?
So children can use the egg, autistic children, autistic adults, Asperger. We have protocols, but it really comes down to resetting the nervous system and helping the body to heal, but also connecting you to your higher self so that you can tune in and get the messages that you need. My boyfriend has a pacemaker. People can go in with metal plates and, just about anything. I can't think of anything that would be unsafe. Even congestive heart failure, we just put them on a lower volume and a very calming light setting so that they can detox more gently. And so there's protocols for everyone. And if you have a little kid that's maybe autistic, we can even do remote sessions. So that's a beautiful thing too, is you can put a picture. So my horse, for example, she doesn't fit inside the egg. The egg is only like 11 foot by 7 foot by 11 foot, so she's huge. She's 1,200 pounds. And so I can put her picture in there and I can immediately watch her nervous system come into balance. I can watch her calm down. I can start seeing her licking and chewing from just the energy of the egg.
Wow.
And I've had my cats in there. I've had I've had dogs in there. Then they're super sensitive to energy and they feel it. And it's really just a beautiful thing. My massage therapist, her dog has a tumor on his mouth or in his mouth. And so we put him into the egg and immediately it stopped bleeding. He was 40 miles away at the house and we just put his photo in. She said, oh my gosh, when I got home, he was so loving and he was so cuddly and snuggly. And she's still going to take him to the veterinarian, but she said it stopped bleeding. It was bleeding. And when she got home, it was not bleeding anymore. So who knows what's really happening? It's all energy. And I think intention is one of the key things. And also, we had very primitive cultures that used music as medicine. And we got civilized and we now use music for entertainment, where we have to get back to the primitive cultures of using music for healing and with intention, and the didgeridoo that the Aborigines used for healing bones, and then indigenous people that use drumming and flute. But we got back to this whole civilized culture of the Academy Awards and the Emmys and the all these contests for who's got the most music, who's going to make the most money, who sold this many albums. But I hire musicians that want to have their music for healing, and that's what their heart is. That's the gift that they were given, is to express themselves through music to help people to heal. So all of our Harmonic Egg music is done with the intention of it helping somebody to heal. And we just put out a new piece of music and it's called Breathe and it's beautiful and I'm getting great feedback. that people are feeling the energy of this musician in his heart and what he pours into the music. And it's just beautiful.
It is. The music was just so memorable. And I know I can go online and download that music, can't I, as well, once you've gone into the egg, so I can continue immersing myself in that experience. You just touched briefly onto the remote sessions. How do you explain to people how remote sessions actually work? Because some of that's a very foreign concept to so many people.
The best way to say it is you pray for somebody because you want to help them and they're having a hard time in their life and you pray for them. You send that prayer across any distance whatsoever, and it's going to help them. And people know that. So why not take your energy of your photo and just put it into the egg? And why wouldn't that help somebody across any kind of distance or time or continent? And so it's just about sending the energy to them.
Mm. And we seem to wait to have something go wrong with our bodies before we go and seek help. How does the harmonic egg help with prevention?
I think it brings an awareness. So when people go in the egg, they're like, wow, I was sitting there in the silence and I felt, something going on my shoulder. I felt something going on in my side. And they start to say, oh my gosh, maybe something's going on that I need to pay attention to, and not wait for, a chronic illness to hit. If you stub your toe, if you sprain your ankle, if you hurt your wrist, if you cut your finger, these are all messages from the body that we have to pay attention to. So in the documentary called It's Time, Deborah says, if you don't listen to the whispers, you get the nudges. If you don't listen to the nudges, you get the hammer. And you don't want the hammer.
You don't want the hammer.
They put her in the documentary, and she wasn't even going to be in the documentary. We were interviewing her husband, Steve, and she said that, and I'm like, get some makeup on, girl, because you're going in the film. And she's like, wait, what? And I said, let's do it. Let's put you in.
I also, when I went to my session, I picked up the children's book, The Little Dragon and the Giant Egg. And I love that you're also catering, to the younger people for this. And you're even opening up their hearts and minds to going, Mommy, Daddy, what is this egg? And so it is a beautiful egg, a beautiful book and story. What made you come up with the idea for that?
Well, we have a center that is on if you will, a dragon portal. So when the egg landed on that dragon portal on the land there, all of a sudden, all the eggs, because they're all connected, all the eggs ended up with dragon energy. About a week after the egg hit the land in this particular area on a dragon portal, a girl from Michigan, my hometown, called me up and said, I don't know who you are. I mean, I just downloaded this book. She does, Kelly. She writes for Disney, Simon and Schuster. She writes children's books. And she said, I want to just donate this story to you because it just came through. It's called Little Dragon and the Giant Egg. And it just came through. So I hired an animation type person to do the graphics. And the three of us worked together to create this as just a labor of love. And we made it for the autistic community with the turquoises and the golds and the greens and the blues. And I have so many adults that pick it up and they're like, I don't know why, I just want to hold this book. It's so beautiful. So it all happened when the dragon energy kind of hit the eggs.
Oh, I love it. One of these pages, it says, the little dragon flapped his wings and flew around the clearing because he sang and it makes me feel happy. The wording and everything, you read it and you just feel happy reading it. It's got a beautiful energy, that book. How many clients have you helped in your own wellness center? Because you've had it for quite some time now. So you've helped quite a lot. And I was reading the testimonials on your website. You've got quite a few on there. So how many is it now?
I opened up in 2010 and I had to sell the business in 2021. I had already seen 20,000 clients, but now that I have over 150 center owners, I support them on a daily basis.
Right.
And trying to make the egg a household name. So I saw over 20,000 people and they all taught me something. So 20,000 people times every one of them teaching me something. That's how I learned how to help people to navigate their health. And I learned how to read blood work, and I learned how to, help people with emotional trauma. And I learned just so many things from doctors that would come in and about PTSD and just so many different aspects of health and healing. So it was such a blessing to learn from all of my clients. And now I just teach the center owners so they can educate and help the clients that come to them.
And you call them guardians, don't you? Why is that the name for them instead of the traditional, the owners? What is it about guardians? Because I do love that term, that word.
Yeah, the eggs find you, I say.
Right.
Most people say, oh my gosh, I started dreaming about eggs. I started seeing eggs everywhere, and then I saw this. And so I believe that not everyone can be an egg guardian. It's going to take a special type person like Sharon, as you know, what a beautiful soul. And
She
these
is.
guardians are beautiful souls to support your healing journey, to help you not to be your healer, but to show you how to be your own healer. And in doing so, we call them the guardians of the egg, or the egg guardians.
Well, I saw on you were on a magazine called The Awakened magazine, and you had this quote. I wanted to create a protocol of love for the harmonic egg, so I made our brand attributes love, integrity, reliability, and community. We're not a franchise. It's a divine feminine business model of cooperation and love. I love that to keep using the word love. So how does somebody become a guardian of the egg? How does someone want to buy the egg? Where do they come to?
Harmonicegg.com, there's a purchase button. You submit for a brochure, and then we have open Zoom calls for people that want to ask questions. We have private meetings with people just to kind of get to know who they are, because I don't want anyone to go into this business and not be the right person. And so you're interviewing me just as much as I'm interviewing you. That the energy of me is in the egg, because it is coming from me. So we want to make sure that we're on the same page and have the same kind of goals for helping people to heal. And I just believe that the franchise model is so patriarchal, and we are in the divine feminine, and we need to come into more cooperation instead of competition, more love, less fear. And so we want to create abundance for all the egg guardians, and we have other revenue streams for them, and we just try to support them to the nth degree that we can do, from the home office.
They must be so appreciative and grateful to you. In fact, one of the testimonials I just thought I would read out because I thought it was beautiful, and it's a good way to start to finalize this episode. I knew after my first session, this is something very special, sacred, and effective. What a rare combo. As a hands-on healer with 30 years of service work, I can say the egg is a master healer. It has the unique ability to quiet the nervous system while upgrading on all levels, the body, mind, and the spirit. I now have the honor of hosting a harmonic egg at my wellness center and see every day the wonderful results of using sound and light vibration for wellness care, spiritual growth, and yes, healing. I have personally experienced so much personal growth, release of old baggage and old injury, and spiritual development. And so I thought that was such a great summary. And you've got so many of those types of testimonials on your website. So I just think that you are so extraordinary for bringing this to the world. It really is phenomenal. And I'm making a documentary called Beautiful Souls. And I did ask the Akashic Records as well, was I meant to be featuring the harmonic egg? And this is what the Akashic Record says. Very possible, yes. The harmonic egg is new technology. It's harmonizing, and it's especially harmonizing for the children because it's the closest to the frequency that they come from, and it's a great tool to support them. And very good of you and very wise to have the experience first. So it looks like you'll also be featuring in the film. So we have to get it out to the masses, because I just think, yeah, it's just people just aren't awake really to all of these new inventions. And yes, it's starting to shift. And I think 2025 is really the year that this is all going to be coming out now, and how sound and frequency healing is the future. And that to me is so exciting. So what is your, just to finalize the podcast, what is your vision for the harmonic egg? And then also, what's the kind of advice that you want to give to someone with a dream if they've got an invention they're thinking of? What's your advice?
Well, may I be so bold as to maybe say out loud, which I have not said out loud before,
Oh,
but
good.
we're talking about making America healthy again, this whole MAHA movement. And I am one handshake away, Robert Kennedy Jr., and I think the harmonic egg needs to be part of making America healthy again. So that's one of my goals, is to get in front of that and see if how that would evolve for the harmonic egg. So that's that. The other question, I think if anybody wants to do their dream, or if they, I think you asked a question, if you were to your 80-year-old self, you were asking the question at the
Oh,
end of
that
one of
was
your
one of my,
podcasts.
yeah, I decided I'd change that question. That's the good thing with evolving
Okay.
podcasts, but that's good. You can still answer that.
Yeah, so I would say anybody who wants to do something like this, you have to be brave. You have to ask yourself, what would I do today if I were brave? And you have to be brave. You have to focus, and you have to follow your intuition, because that's going to put you in the right place at the right time.
I think a lot of us have forgotten our intuition. We just seem to be looking elsewhere. Our lives are so busy. You know, we've got the phones going on, technological advances. We seem to be out there more than in here. And I think that's a really great message to end on. Is there anything else that you'd like to share before we wrap up?
No, I just think it's funny how my screen is all blue now because we went from light to dark.
That's
Just I
okay.
keep staring at that. No, it's all good. Um,
That's what
so
happens.
yeah, I feel like I'm like the blue man, right? The blue man group is going on now. Um, no, I think that we've said it all. I think we really covered a lot of topics. I think your interview questions were great. I love the dialogue with you and the conversation. It's been very fun and very dynamic. It's not scripted, so that's the best kind of podcast. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for that share. Yeah. As you say, you need to be brave and put yourself out there in the world. And this at the moment is my contribution. So having people on like yourselves just make it all worthwhile. And I have been really excited to speak with you. And as I said, I know this invention is just going to help so many people and so many families and so many children. And I kind of getting emotional. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for bringing these devices around the world. And I'm honored to have you on the show.